never actually been asked to MC a funeral by someone whose funeral it actually was. And Cole specifically asked to be the funniest MC that we've ever done. He said, and I quote, when I finally go, I want you two to MC my funeral, and I want you to bring the place down with laughter.
As you might imagine, John and I were somewhat dismayed at this request and even quite reluctant to agree. It seemed to us that Cole's request was likely to create a conflict of agendas. John and I pondered the difficulty of being funny at a funeral, and we were quite uncomfortable with the idea all around.
Strangely, when we mentioned it to a number of others, especially those of the older generation, we soon discovered that the thought of saying funny things at a funeral was in fact a funny thought. The more we mentioned it to people, the more we discovered that others who we associate with thought that a comedic funeral was not just Colin's good idea of a good laugh.
Soon we discovered that there seems to be a streak of dark humour running frightfully rampant through this place. So what we have decided to do tonight is run a small social experiment. To run this experiment, it is critical that you all take it very seriously. We are wanting to ascertain just how dark your humour can be. We plan to proceed as if this is Cole's funeral, and we will slowly add some humour to the mix. By doing this experiment, we can determine whether Cole is the only one with a dark and macabre sense of humour. And we are particularly interested in studying the reactions of the older generation.
So Colin is here, and he's still with us. We're not going to ask him to lie down. But we would like some who were particularly interested in the study to come and stand around Colin. So we'd like David and Sue, and Paul and Jan, and Harry and Sue, and Ray and Paula to come and stand around Colin. Can I remind you that you are a social experiment, and you need to remain serious at all times, so that goes for us all. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to remember and mourn midlife. Colin, the son of a Yugoslavian twine manufacturer, was born with millions of others shortly after the Second World War.
While living under harsh communist rule, Colin's father, I drink a lot, decided to move his family to Australia with his somewhat twisted wife. So in the dark of night, I drink a lot of wine and knotty twine, Yugoslavia on a small boat. Colin is just with us.
Once in Australia, the poor and unemployed Mr. and Mrs. Twine soon discovered that their son Colin had a zeal for construction. At the age of just 19 months, the Twine spotted Colin constructing a cot for himself out of some spare 42 he found in the backyard. And by the time Colin was in primary school and all the other kids built cubbies out of old boxes and Hessian bags, the clever Colin was erecting 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom speckies made from leftover war materials and old milk clothes. Colin's cubbies were distinguished in their size and grandeur. They also had little spongy marks on the ceiling.
Colin stopped attending school at the age of 11 to pursue a life as a tradesman. And at the age of 15, he met a young and stunning-looking minister. Known for a short time as a tree hugger, Colin likely decided to marry Glenys, and they moved to the bustling city of Mapleton. You shall be my queen, my love, and we shall establish our kingdom in this town of Mapleton, where I shall drive thee in a royal GT. He would often say to young Glenys. Set on establishing themselves as king and queen of Mapleton, Cole and Glenn built a humble but practical castle and erected there a sign, King's Country. Everyone thought that King's Country was in fact a place of worship, including 3 wise men from the east. Whatever the confusion, nor were it though. The king and queen were generous rulers. Those who dwelt in the land were happy, and many of them had strong, healthy sons that could concrete and turf and expand the king's country over other neighbouring regions.
King Cole and Queen Glen lived many happy years, excluding a tree fall about a 2 of insomnia, kidney transplant, leg blunt. Now we can end this eulogy and indeed this study here because Colin is still with us. Arise, King Cole. Long live the King. So Mark, if you could please take us through the results of our study.
Sure, John. Thanks for that. Well, after much deliberation, it's clear that I think we perhaps lost the gig for Cole's funeral, but there's probably 3 or 4 we might have picked it up.